Ladies and gentlemen, Black Ops 6 multiplayer is officially here, and I'm going to give you my first impressions review for the mode. I played about 2 hours of it thus far, roughly like 10 or so matches, and just going to give you my first impressions right from that. Of course, there's a lot more to experience in the game. I haven't played every single one of the maps just yet. I haven't played all the modes. I haven't used all the weapons. So just keep that in mind, and let's get into it, starting off with the positives. First of all, I said the same thing for zombies, and I'll say it for multiplayer. The game feels really good. The Omni movement is amazing. The way the guns feel, everything just feels solid. There are some issues with the servers right now because, of course, I'm playing on the New Zealand servers, and that's just not going to go over so well when it comes to connectivity. So there's been a lot of lag, just low frames. There's a lot of things that just aren't looking great from that angle, but just purely based on how it feels and the movement, it is fun. Just like the beta was, I'm definitely having a good time with how the game feels. Probably the best and smoothest feeling Call of Duty, at least since Black Ops 4, in my opinion. I think most of those games pre-Modern Warfare 2019 felt amazing. I know a lot of people love the new era of Call of Duty movement, but some of it I just haven't loved personally. Some of it felt a little clunky to me. This game just feels extremely smooth so far, so that's definitely a positive. All of the new maps that I played were mostly good. I haven't experienced all of them yet, but the ones in particular that I really enjoyed were Payback, Red Card, and Vault. Now, I will say most people online seem to be critiquing these maps as being not good, and you're totally entitled to that opinion. If you think these maps suck, that is totally fine. But so far, I'm liking most of them. There was maybe 1 or 2 maps I wasn't crazy about. I didn't love Protocol the first time I played it, but then I played it again, and then I thought it was decent. So it really just depends. But I feel like these maps are just fine. There's some really small ones, and I haven't actually played like the really small ones yet, like Subsonic. But Payback was very small, but I actually really liked it. I really liked how it played. I think the gameplay of BO6 does just do well with small maps. It's as simple as that. Just like the map Skyline, there's also a lot of maps that I've played so far that do have some interactable features, whether it's just a grapple hook thing where you can just grapple up to a higher point of the map, or actual like lockdown chambers, just like what Skyline had. I just love interactable things like that on maps, and I want to see more of it, and so far a lot of the maps in the game do have features like that, which is awesome. Now, a couple of new things I wanted to mention that we obviously didn't have in the beta, but we now have access to now, are the camo grinds and overall the prestige and progression systems. And I want to talk about this real quick because this stuff is incredible. Obviously, I haven't experienced much of it yet because I've obviously not gotten through it, so I'm only level like 20 something right now. But once you actually take a look at the prestiges, you will kind of be blown away by them because they are really cool. They have now themed prestiges around older Black Ops games. So the first 2 prestiges are themed around World at War, Prestige 3 and 4 are themed around Black Ops 1, Prestige 5 and 6 are themed around Black Ops 2, 7 and 8 are themed around Black Ops 3, 9 is themed around Black Ops 4, and then Prestige 10 is themed around Black Ops Cold War. And then after that, of course, you go to through the Prestige Masters. Now, if you look at the rewards, you can actually check them right now. There are some really cool looking rewards, like some awesome things. There's a couple blueprints that actually make your gun look like an iconic classic weapon. It would be a lot cooler if it literally just was the classic weapon itself, but unfortunately it's just a blueprint that makes it look like it, but it looks close enough. For example, one of them makes your gun look like the Thompson, another one makes your gun look like the STG, and another one makes your gun look like the VMP from Black Ops 3, which is so cool. And there's a couple of skins. I honestly think most of the skins look nice, but I kind of wish they had a couple of other ones that fit the game a little bit more. Like, for example, their Black Ops 3 skin is just gray in pajamas. Like, sure, there's Samantha's pajamas, that's kind of interesting, but I don't really know. That's not like, if out of anything in Black Ops 4 that they could have added, they added that. Like, I don't know, that's just weird to me. But overall, I'm still happy with this. Just the fact that we have so many prestige rewards, and the fact that prestige is back in general is so awesome. And as for the camo grind, it's looking to be a pretty solid camo grind this year. So there's 100 headshots you have to get per weapon, and there's also 2 challenges after that, which is pretty similar to the classic systems that we had back in like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, where you just have to simply get 100 headshots on a weapon and then 2 challenges afterwards. And I like the simplicity of that because it's pretty easy to memorize. You don't really have to like jot down the challenges or anything. You know what you have to do. You have to go for headshots. Just do that on all your weapons. And once you get them, like I said, you have to get the 2 challenges afterwards, which they're very easy challenges. Like, they're not very difficult. For example, some of them are like get 30 kills after sliding, or get like a you know, 3 bloodthirsties, something like that. Just a bunch of random challenges like that that are very simple, something you can easily do within one game. And the camos themselves are gorgeous, especially the mastery camos. Oh my goodness, Dark Matter looks phenomenal this year. Like literally one of the best looking mastery camos we've ever seen in Call of Duty history. I think this is the best version of Dark Matter. I'm not sure how it's going to look in game, but it looks gorgeous here for sure. Now let's get into some negatives. I do have other positives, of course. It's not the only things I like about this game, but it's the only things that I really feel the need to talk about. Everything else is just like, yeah, okay, I like that, but I don't really feel like I have much to add on the conversation. When it comes to negatives though, my biggest issue is still going to be this. I hate the fact that there's no streak wrapping or streak looping, whatever you want to call it. The fact that I can't earn my same streaks in the same life again. There's no reason why that's not available, and I have absolutely no clue why they don't want that. I understand they've mentioned before in some developer interviews that they don't like the idea of streak spam, but I personally don't think streak spam is that significant of an issue in Call of Duty. It's really not. There are so many counters to streaks, and if someone is good enough to go on that many like loops with their streaks, then they deserve to get those streaks. So I hate the fact that if I go on a streak, I just can't earn those streaks again. It makes me less incentivized to actually want to stay alive and keep going on those streaks. So I really hope they decide to change that, and I really hope all of you guys are giving that feedback as well. But obviously, if you don't care, then don't feel forced to give that feedback. But if you do care, definitely give that feedback, because I hope they can change it, because Sledgehammer did change it last year. Originally, Modern Warfare 3 did not have the streak wrapping, and then they added it in later on. So I really think that's possible that they could add it. Another big negative is obviously skill-based matchmaking. I think it's pretty much been said every single year since Modern Warfare 2019, skill-based matchmaking is just not fun. I think it just makes it feel like your performance is constantly being manipulated by the matchmaking, and I personally just am not a fan of that. I don't like that experience, and I think it kind of makes playing multiplayer for more than an hour at a time kind of just a pain in the ass. So that is definitely a big issue, and I'm thankful zombies exist, so I can always just go play zombies when I get tired of multiplayer. But I really wish it wasn't like that. I wish I could sit down and play multiplayer for hours upon hours without getting sick of it, but it's just really hard for that experience to happen with skill-based matchmaking. Another negative that I'm really hoping will change with the DLC seasons is that I really do feel like there's not much content to this game that's relatively new. And what I mean by that is things that are like never before seen in a Call of Duty experience. And I had some people in my stream recently asking me, like, why do you think there's not much hype around this game compared to other games? And I do think there is a lot of hype, don't get me wrong, but I think like if you compare this back to like the OG days of Call of Duty, even though this Call of Duty is doing a lot of things right, why is it not comparable to those old days in terms of the excitement? I think it just comes down to there's just not a lot of like really new things. There's not a lot of insanely new features or mechanics or systems. Really, Omni movement is the main thing, right? But is there that many other features that are like that new? At the end of the day, it's just a new Call of Duty. I'm definitely excited for that. I'm always happy to play a new Call of Duty game, but it's obviously not this entirely different experience with a ton of new features. And when you look at stuff like the streaks, there's not a single streak in this game other than maybe one or two that are like that unique or different compared to other streaks we've already seen. Actually, I'd go as far as to say none of them are that unique. These are all streaks we've seen before, we've done before, and I think that is part of it as well, because part of my excitement for a Call of Duty game is the streaks, getting to see what streaks they have in the game, what exciting new streaks they can add. And there really isn't that many in this game that are that exciting. I look at them and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's the usual streaks we usually have for a COD game. But back when Black Ops 3 came out and I saw the wraps and I was like, oh my god, these are so cool. Obviously, they were basically a skin for the attack dogs, but they were so cool, so unique, so interesting. And I know this game isn't futuristic, so maybe it's asking for too much to expect like really unique streaks, but I feel like there's definitely a way for them to add things that are like never before seen in Call of Duty when it comes to the streaks. Same thing goes for stuff like equipment and tactical equipment. Why not some very new things? Everything that we're getting in this game, all the field upgrades, it's kind of the same things we've been seeing over the past couple of years of Call of Duty. And I'm worried that's just going to keep happening. I really hope next year's Call of Duty is kind of a different take because it's going to be a futuristic game. Hopefully they're going to find a way to do some really unique things. And obviously there's certain things I'm just expecting to see in every game from now on. But in general, I don't feel like this game has a lot of new things to offer. And even some of the guns, it's like, okay, these are the usual guns we usually see in Call of Duty. Hopefully the DLC changes that. Hopefully the DLC adds a lot of new things. And I think this is why I'm honestly more excited for Zombies, is because I feel like Zombies is at least able to add a lot more new things because of the nature of what it is. But multiplayer, I don't know. There's not a lot of things that really excite me that much with this MP. Even though it's a solid experience and I think it's good, I'm just not sure there's a lot that's going to really grab me into this launch experience in a way that like Call of Duty's have in the past. Overall, I am really enjoying Black Ops 6 multiplayer, and I will definitely continue to play it as much as I can. But of course, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. If you want to give the video a like, I'd really appreciate it. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Peace out, everyone.